You make a mistake on a client. What do you do? How do you recover? We're going to talk about this right now on the Biz Talk. I'm not going to be able to recover. There's a fly, guys. Just literally, it's like zooming around. You probably won't be able to see it.
It's driving him crazy.
It's driving me. It's bugging me.
And therefore, I like it.
It's going to bug Tracy. I'm just going to use that pun over and over again.
They leave me alone. They love you and Greg.
Say it. Say it. Why? Because we're like poo-poo?
Flies get
Flies
attracted
like
to
caca?
certain things.
Greg and I are like caca? Is that what you're saying?
Say that. But
That was a weird laugh.
You can, you know what they say about what you can catch flies with. So
Yeah, fly swatter. Booyah. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, listen to me. We're going to talk about...
I made a mistake coming to work today.
You made a mistake coming to work this week, I would say.
Yeah.
Tracy had a rough week. Let's all play the smallest violin for her. Oh,
It's only
Tracy.
Wednesday.
It is true. But I think we turned a corner today. I think we turned a corner on a tough week. We're here filming Biz Talk with our lovely Jorge and Vic, who's listening.
My lovely Jorge.
Jorge. Okay, we're finally going to get to the topic, which is, I think, going to be very useful. This is also got to be one of the most terrifying things in the beginning. I think maybe you get used to it later and you know what to do. But Tracy, you make a mistake on a client live in front of you. The client's tripping. You're brand new. How do you deal? What do you do? And then we'll talk about kind of how you deal with it now or like later in your career. You know, I know this is a big thing because you always talk about, you know, most of doing nails is like learning how to deal with the mistakes. Mm-hmm. So which means they happen. But how does a beginner deal with making mistakes?
You get up, grab your purse, and leave.
Walk out the door.
Walk out the door.
Tell your clients,
solution.
"Leave me alone," and just slam the door.
It's your fault.
It's all you. It's like horns coming out of your head.
You know what? Most of the time, it's we're noticing something they don't notice. They probably didn't even notice it. You know what I mean? So these mistakes, some of them we can just fix without even having to explain ourselves. I did that all the time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I would imagine in the beginning, you're doing some nails, and like when you're fresh nail tech, you make a mistake. I almost think it's like you probably can't even help it. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
like
you're
gonna
frozen
like,
in that moment.
You're frozen in that moment.
Then that's what I laugh about when I do films or where I make mistakes, and I'm like, well, I could just stare at it and hope to God, pray to him that he'll fix it somehow. And that's what we do at first. You just kind of like
you trip. Yeah.
That didn't just happen. You know, and the more you trip, the more they're going to
trip. Mm-hmm. So okay, this is really interesting because, and I remember you've talked about this before, but I forgot, like, if you are pointing out all your errors on a regular basis, your client's going to start to become insecure about things, right?
Insecure, or also they'll talk about it or they'll bring it up, and then you're going to be insecure and get more frustrated. So it's and it's, like you said, it's something you do at first because you want to point it out before they point it out. And then you're just, that's why when people say I have extremely picky clients, I'm like, that was you.
Is that because the nail tech is super picky and they're constantly looking and like refining like over and over and again, and then you're basically training your clients.
You're creating this. Yeah. And not that you don't want to fix a problem.
Of course.
Fix a severe problem. But, sometimes there is no perfection in nails. It's not possible. Even if you do, in your mind, the perfect set, your client can find fault in it. So, you need to give them good salon success nails. They're going to be happy. Half of the time they're just blinded by glitter.
Right.
And they're perfectly happy.
What are some examples of, let's say, mistakes that can happen that your client would not notice unless you pointed it out. You know what I mean? I know there's like the obvious ones of like the nail pops off, right? We'll talk about that. that happens, right?
Yeah.
It happened. It actually happened to you.
Yeah, just recently.
But and obviously there's no covering that up. But like, what are some mistakes that can happen where your client would never know, but you know you can just keep going?
Smile lines a tad off.
Oh.
You overfiled something. That's an easy fix. Just apply more.
Like if you have nail art, you overfile in the back.
Yeah,
a little bit of glitter.
Or file a nail too thin and just add more product. But like these are things that the client's really not even going to be paying attention. Smile line's a big one. Like we're not taking a measuring from one side to the other. I had one in mind that
Filing.
a little too short.
Oh, okay.
Like one nail's a little shorter than the other ones because we typically measure them, and one might be a little shorten the other one a little bit. And the client's not going to notice these things, but if you go, oh my gosh, oh shoot, hold on, that's not, and you wanted it this length and this one's short.
Dude, I already have anxiety.
Yeah.
Like you saying that, I'm like.
And guess what? Same thing with, oh my gosh, Habib, shoot, I'm so sorry. The smile line's a little higher on this side. And I always say that the client probably would never have noticed.
Right.
But guess what? They're going to will that nail off because now they're obsessed about it.
Right.
They will stare at it, and usually that nail will not be on their finger when they come back.
Really?
Because they'll mess with it.
And just play with it.
Because you just pointed out, like, it's just laughing at them now. So if you're going to point it out, you better fix it.
Yeah. It's really interesting to me. I can understand in the beginning phases, right, where you do that. But I think it's important to, like, you got to catch yourself, and almost, it's not like you're keeping a secret from your client and you're not telling them that there's something wrong with their nails. There's actually probably nothing wrong with their nails. It's your idea of like perfection, I think, is the problem, right? Mm-hmm. Like you think your nails should be absolutely perfect to the last. You're going to spend 6 hours on the set? I mean,
nope.
You can't do that.
And then people, I always laugh, like, because people will literally do this, is they'll get under the light and they'll start doing this. And I always say, when my client did that under the light, I turned the light off. If you have to look that close, believe me, you're going to see some flaws. They're not perfect nails. Do you like them? Yeah, I like them. Well, then why are you looking this close at it?
Right.
What are you looking for?
First of all, who on the planet is going to grab your hands and go, my God, I love your nails. Habib, they're so beautiful. And like literally
put the flashlight on it. Let me see. Yeah.
I need to, like, or, ma'am, come over here. Like, excuse me, I don't know you. Yeah, I know, but I'm going to inspect your nails. Yeah. Come here. Pull out the flashlight. Yeah, magnifying glass. Like, nobody.
It'd be like going to your hairdresser and like, do you like your hair? And you get right up in the mirror and you're like, no, it's great. If I look that close, I'm going to see flaws.
It's funny because even at like a nail competition, I've seen the judges and they grab them here.
Yes.
And they look at the nails here. They're not like
natural eye.
yeah, natural eye. But there is something inside of us that is like, I think in the beginning stages, you might think that's the right thing to do, right? You might think like, oh, I should communicate to my clients. I want to be open and honest with them. But what you're doing is you're passing on your idea of perfection, which ultimately is an insecurity, I think. I think it's insecurity
again
onto your clients.
We want to point it out before they point it out.
They point it out, right.
And half of the time it's not. There's things that they will notice. You got to fix those. You got to, no question. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying don't fix it if it's glaring at you and it's an obvious problem. If the French is way up here on one side and way down here on the other, you got to fix that.
You got to fix it, man. Come on.
But it happens. I've done it. I've filed out my white before. I grab my electric file, cut it back in, slap some. Client goes, what happened? It looked at me funny.
I like that response.
All I have to tell them. Looked at me funny. I fixed it. Don't worry. Because again, if I sat there and go, well, see, it was higher on one side, really low on the other. So I needed to cut back in the smile line, but it should be fine. I put the white back in there. We'll file it out. Again, they're going to obsess about that now.
This reminds me of? This reminds me of, I always do sports comparisons, but like in baseball, they talk about It's really funny. They talk about like how when batters get into the box and they're looking at the pitcher, and the pitcher throws the pitch, the thing is literally going 90 plus miles an hour, right?
At them.
Certain batters read the threads. Okay, they can actually see the threading and they know what pitch is coming. And it's like only a professional can see these. Yeah, I know. It's really, and this is kind of an extreme example, but one of like, you tell me that even any pro batter, right? They're going to see things in the ball that's coming at them so fast that I'm never going to be able to see. You point it out, and I'm going to try to look for it and look for it and look for it. And I probably still can't see it, but I'm going to probably say like, oh yeah, I think I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Dude, if you as a pro, you have a different eye, you look at nails all day long, you do nails all day long, you're a professional, you're going to see the nails, you're going to see subtleties that they never see. Now, we're not saying like, trick your clients and don't tell them. No, I think there's a level of like, okay, what to do if you make a mistake. Well, there's certain mistakes that you just keep going and fix, and there's no need to cause concern to your clients. Like, you just go at it. Now, there's maybe some more obvious ones, like if you're filing and the nail pops off. Like, what do you do in that situation, Tracey?
I just did it in a video. It happened. And I've done it in Salon. Like, I get file happy sometimes. So basically I go, oh, did you see that? Of course they saw it. I'm like, dang, that went pretty far. I'm pretty impressed. But I make a joke out of it.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
then I go, I'm going to fix it. And then I do make sure to let them know, like, while that one's drying, I fix it real quick, and then I go, you know what? I get file happy sometime. Let me make sure I didn't get file happy on the other ones. I said, and I would have noticed that one was too thin when I checked my sides and everything.
Yeah.
We would have got more product anyway. But let's check them out. Yeah, no, we're good. And then I go, do this. Does it feel strong? Oh yeah, it feels strong. Cool. And then I play it off. I don't bring it up again.
Exactly.
And that's the most important is if you keep on bringing it up, you're just bringing attention to it again. Half of the time they'll forget it happened.
Yeah. I love using humor, in any challenging situation. It just always lightens things up, right? To where it's not that, like, if like, for example, there's Tracey's scenario and then here's my scenario. Let's just say, for example, if, the nail pops off. Shit. Oh my God, Mary, Lord help me. God, I screwed up. I'm such an idiot.
I suck at this.
I suck. God, I suck. Like, dude, that client's going to freak out and be like, yo,
I'm paying for this.
I don't want to be here right now. You know what I mean? And like, so stay calm. I think if you have an obvious mistake like that, where the client knows and and everybody knows, especially if you're doing like, some type of Olympic event with the nail and it pops off and goes like 8 feet. And you're like, yes, 8 feet.
It's a new game. We're seeing how far we can get him to go.
Dude, you see, that would be hilarious. I think the client would find humor. And then if you just go, a quick explanation of like, you know what? Sometimes I get file happy and, this is just what happens every once in a while, but don't worry about it. I'm going to fix it right now. And let me check the other one. Like that, bringing light to it, making it chill. The client's going to be like, oh, cool. Happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
what I would say too is when it comes to the smaller mistakes we're talking about that maybe they wouldn't notice, I always encourage people, please look at your nails as if they're not your nails. Pretend like the person next to you did them. What would you say if you saw those nails? And 100% of the time, oh, I liked them. They're nice nails. Well, look at that with that eye when you're looking at your own, because we just pick ourselves apart.
I'm curious, Trace. Like that just brings sort of to mind. Like, I know sometimes you'll do some nail art designs, right? You always do this. I've seen you do it. You've even said you do it yourself, where you are kind of hard on yourself initially. Well, you'll look at it and go, I don't really like that, you know. But
we just talked about that.
We just talked about that. But then 24 hours later, you come back to the set and you're like, oh, I actually like these. These are cool. And she'll even point them out to me. Hey, do you like these? And I'm like, yeah, I told you yesterday I loved them, And yes, I'll tell you again today, I love them. what is going on here? But you obviously went through some like transformation. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is when you're sitting in front of a client and you finish the nails, do you have those moments? Did you have those moments of like, not totally happy with these, but maybe if I look at them in 24 hours, did you have that?
All the time. All the time. I
Really?
think we just talked about this. I had that when I did Kira's nails. I'm like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. Every set I do, I look at them with that eye. I don't typically like them until I saw the video of them. I'm like, oh, those were pretty. That's me, and I know that a lot of people are like that. But
Yeah, totally,
I had to
totally.
fight against that. I think we talked about that. I don't know if it was on a Biz Talk or not. Is I knew the nails were done
Yes.
and they were right.
yeah, that's a big thing.
Now I was looking at them as a very critical eye, but if I looked at them and they were too wide and the shape was wrong and all that, there was nothing else to do to the nails.
Yeah.
It's not like I could have done some more to make me like them in that moment. They could have been perfect nails, and I just always look at them like that.
No, I like that. Knowing when you're done, and also knowing, like, your own mind.
Yeah.
You know that I'm probably not going to like the fresh set, but I probably will like them in 24 hours. I'm done. I need to step away. I can take a look at them later.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that about yourself. And I think that's really good. I think because it's just weird, because when you finish the set, I'm like, damn, those are sweet, but I always see your reaction, but it's a natural thing, right? Like, this is your art. This is your work. So, like most artists, right, when they finish their whatever it is, their picture or their nails, probably it's going to take a little bit for it to settle in.
Totally. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's the knowing I did my job.
I did my job.
And
I did a good job.
Yeah.
It's not like you put a pile of, caca on the nails and you're like, I don't care if they look like and smell like. They're done. Get out.
Get out of my chair. Pay me. Get out of my chair.
Pay me,
and
get out.
That's with Kira's nails. I look at them and I go, if I was in class and someone showed me these nails that I was teaching,
You'd be stoked.
I would tell them they're done.
Yeah.
So they're done.
Yeah. I love that. I think these are two very helpful strategies in dealing with mistakes. I like that we broke it down in two categories,
Yeah.
two traits, like the ones where, look, fix them, client's not going to know. It's not like you have to basically communicate every little thing that you're doing while you're doing the nails. You're the pro. If you made a little error, fix it, move on. You don't have to bring attention to it. And then the second one of like, okay, when something obvious happens, like a nail pops off when you're filing,
If you chop their finger off it, they're going to notice.
that they might notice. You might maybe not bring light to the situation then and crack a joke. Like, oh,
That time you do just get up and walk out.
yeah, call 911 at that point.
Yeah.
But for for the larger errors that might come up, don't linger. And I don't think you should, beat yourself up in that moment in front of the client. Just be professional, handle it, move on, learn from it. Things happen. So let us know in the comments below your thoughts on this topic. Super curious. And also, if you want us to talk about anything else, let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Biz Talk.